Excuse me, you always sit next to me, don't you? I spoke to her softly, mindful of the people around us. It was the usual time on the usual subway. Every morning on the first train, she would always sit next to me in my regular spot. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? She started to cry when I asked her. As I hurriedly apologized, she told me an unexpected story. My name is David, 27 years old. I'm about to turn 28 soon, and for the past 4 years, my mother has always asked me if I have a girlfriend around my birthday. Tonight, as I was eating dinner after work, she asked me again. David, do you have a girlfriend yet? I've been asking you every year, but you've never had one. Stop making excuses about not needing anyone and try harder. She must have been really worried about me not having a girlfriend. Recently, she has been persuading me with a serious tone. I know, but I really haven't met anyone, and besides, I'm so into my work right now that I can't be that proactive. I believe that one day I'll meet my destined one. I should have just agreed with her, but I ended up honestly expressing my thoughts. Naturally, my mother didn't stay quiet. What are you talking about? You're not getting any younger. If you keep saying that, you'll be 40 or 50 before you know it. Get serious. I won't be around forever, you know. Sorry, I apologize. I scratched my head and apologized. I've loved reading since I was a kid and have read many kinds of novels, especially romance novels. It's kind of embarrassing for a guy to like romance novels, so when people ask about my hobbies, I just say reading broadly. I'll make a serious effort to find someone. My mother looked very satisfied with my declaration. I'm glad I've been nagging you for almost 4 years. I'll wait in moderate expectation so I don't get too tired out. I'll do my best. After working a bit, I went to bed early, and the next day, I took the subway to work. Since I get on at the first station, I can always get a seat. Though it's not a designated spot, I always sit in my usual seat. Darn, I'm sleepy. I mumbled to myself, feeling very tired. Work has been busy lately, and I've been taking work home. It's not just me, everyone involved in the project is in the same situation. We all want to make something great, so no one is compromising. Though it's tough, I love and appreciate this environment where everyone shares the same passion for the work. As I was thinking about the tasks ahead at work, I heard a tapping sound. Looking up, I saw a woman walking with a white cane. I thought she would pass by, but she suddenly stopped. I couldn't help but keep my eyes on her. Wondering what was happening, I watched as she gently sat down in the seat next to me. It was fine, but I wondered why she chose the seat next to mine when there were other empty seats. This is my stop. When the announcement for my stop came, I cracked my neck. I prepared myself for the day ahead with renewed determination. As I stood up, I glanced at the woman with the white cane who was still seated. I felt it might be rude to stare, but she had a beautiful face and seemed about my age, with a dignified presence. At first, she was just someone who happened to sit next to me, but she continued to sit next to me the next day, and the day after that. And also the day after that. Initially, I didn't think much of it, but gradually, I began to notice. The next day, when I got on the subway again, she appeared. With her white cane tapping, she sat next to me again but stumbled slightly, bumping into me. I'm sorry. Oh, no, it's fine. Are you okay? When I spoke to her, she looked embarrassed. I'm fine. I'm really sorry for stumbling. Don't worry about it. I'm glad you're okay. When I answered her, she said, "Thank you." After that, we didn't have any more conversation. But the next day, and the day after that, and also the day after that, she continued to sit next to me. Even though there were other seats available, why did she always choose the seat next to me? Puzzled, I decided to talk to my mother about it as if it were just casual conversation. Mom, there's this woman with a white cane who sits next to me on the subway every morning. Even though there are plenty of empty seats. My mother looked puzzled. That's strange. She can sit wherever she wants, but it is suspicious. Why don't you try sitting somewhere else tomorrow? Maybe I will. It's not that I mind, but I'm just curious. Yes, try sitting in a different seat and see what happens. I agreed with her suggestion and said, I'll do that. The next morning, I got on the subway as usual but sat in a different seat. I pulled out my planner to check my schedule for the day when I heard the tapping sound again. I looked up from my planner and saw her walking towards me. She approached the seat I usually sat in and seemed about to sit down but stopped abruptly. Then, tapping her cane again, she started walking through the subway car. She stopped right in front of where I was sitting in a different seat. Just as I suspected, she sat down next to me again. Seriously? I thought, but getting up now would seem rude, so I stayed put and continued reading my planner. When I got off at my station, I glanced at her, but she seemed unchanged. I got off the train and went about my day. Really? What do you think is going on? You haven't done anything to her, right? After explaining the day's events to my mother when I got home, she still found it mysterious but concluded that it must not be my fault. Of course not. I've never done anything. At least, not that I can remember. Maybe she sees things differently, though. My mother agreed, seeming to understand. That's true. Even if you think you haven't done anything, it might be different from her perspective. I thought about it again, but I couldn't come up with any explanation. Maybe I'll try sitting in another seat again tomorrow. I guess I shouldn't worry about it. Sorry, I've got some work to finish up tonight. So I might be up late. Could you wake me up if I don't get up? Sure, no problem. Busy, huh? I'll wake you up as usual in the morning. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll set an alarm, but just in case. After asking my mother, I washed the dishes, took a bath, and went to my room. I had an important meeting the next day. The company I work for, Harris Trading Company, is quite a major player among trading firms. I'm part of a project team led by our manager, James. With final adjustments and meetings, the schedule was really tight, and today had been especially busy. I hope I can get at least 3 hours of sleep. I muttered as I started working on my tasks. The last thing I remembered was it being 2 a.m. Hey, wake up. It's time, David. My mother's voice somehow roused me from sleep. My alarm had apparently stopped at some point, and I was grateful to my past self for asking my mother to wake me. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I got on the subway to go to work. Usually, I'd be wide awake by the time I got moving, but today I just couldn't wake up. This is bad, I'm so sleepy today. I decided to close my eyes for just a bit, and then I heard the tapping sound again. Suddenly, I felt a strong shake on my shoulder, and I woke up in a panic. Excuse me, are you okay? You usually get off at this station, right? Ha? Oh, yes, I do. As I struggled to comprehend the situation, she spoke to me again. In front of me was the woman who always sat next to me, looking desperate. Please, wake up. Isn't this your stop? Oh. You're right, I need to get off. Thank you. Indeed, the doors had just opened at my usual stop. I quickly thanked her and slipped out before the doors closed. That was really close. I owe her one. As I glanced back at the subway, I saw her smile with relief. That sight gave me a strange feeling, but I started running towards my office. Your proposal is great. Please go ahead and proceed with it. Thank you, I'll do it that way. I concluded the online meeting with a firm statement, and everyone exchanged greetings before ending the call. Au revoir, I said as I disconnected, and cheers erupted from the people around me. That went well. As I slumped into my chair, James patted me on the shoulder. Thank you so much, David. You did a great job. Thank you for all your guidance, James. I stood up and thanked him. And he responded with a smile. No, it was all thanks to the hard work of you and everyone else. James is not only capable at his job but is very respectable as a boss and simply as a person. He's always polite and pleasant, never making a face even when we ask questions. Not having to worry about the boss's mood makes it much easier for us to work. He's helped me out many times. I'm really glad you were the leader of this project. Thank you so much. Let's have a celebration with everyone. I'm happy to hear that. Thanks. Many of our team members have families, so how about a lunch celebration tomorrow? Of course. Right, everyone? Yeah, lunch works better for me too. Thanks a lot. Thanks to you, James, I was able